This lesson that I have prepared is not your traditional lesson. It's slightly different. Each person has to look in their inward parts to know your challenges and your tests that lies within you. So this ain't gonna be something where we sit there and talk about ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. This lesson is gonna be challenging on different levels where you are spiritually. Your trust in the Creator, your loyalty to the Creator, your devotion to Him is going to be tested through this lesson. But if you're not honest with yourself, this lesson is going to be nothing for you. You'll be like, oh, he just taught. But that ain't what this is about. Okay? Every time you enter into a house of worship on the Shabbat day, you should always leave different than you were when you came in. You should always grab something, some knowledge out of the lessons and absorb it and allow it to absorb into you so that when you walk out that door after the Shabbat service is over, you're a changed person. Even if it's just a little bit. If you come enough, after a while, that little bit will increase and become a lot. So always try to take wisdom with you. When you hear something good that you know is right and you're not doing it, then adjust your behavior so that you can improve yourself in your relationship with the Almighty, because that's what this is all about. Okay? We're going to go today and we're going to read in 2 Kings chapter 4. Who's going to read today?
I'll read.
You going to read it? That's what I wrote about. 2 Kings chapter 4. Now, I read this lesson once, this chapter we're about to read. I read it once, and I went over it, and I was enthused by it, and I thought that it would make a great lesson. So I read it again today, and I'm going to try to expound on it in a way that I understand it to be, that it needs to feed our people. 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1. Now, in the future, you may hear this lesson again, because the more you teach and read and that spirit hits you with a certain chapter, the more it enriches you with the wisdom of the chapter. That's why the Creator says, read and write and meditate on His law daily. Because the more you do it, it's a certain spirit that possesses you and take you to higher levels and deeper in forms of knowledge and understanding. So I would applaud you to read this on your own as well. All right? Corey, whenever you're ready.
All right, everybody, 2 Kings, chapter 4.
May the Most High guide my mind, my spirit, my body, my language, and my speech as I approach unto you, His people.
2 Kings, chapter 4, verse 1. Let us all say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
A certain woman, the wife of one of the disciple of the prophets.
Now, hold up a second. You see how it starts off speaking about a woman? She's the head of this household. And oftentimes in our world today, we have single women being the head of our household. It's very rarely got brothers like Moray and myself that's running a household and organizing things. Here we have a single woman with at least one child who's running a family or a household, but this is not no regular woman. This is a woman who has her trust and faith in the Almighty. You know, and we have to pay attention to what's taking place, because what's about to happen didn't just happen to no run-of-the-mill tramp of a woman. Right. This is a woman who feared the Almighty. This is a woman whose husband was known in the houses because he was son of the prophets. You understand?
Yes.
So pay attention to these things, sisters. It's okay to do your best, and I don't need no man. That's not okay, but I don't need no man, and I'm going to see what I can do. But make sure you right with the Almighty. And if you right with the Almighty, He's going to provide you everything you need, especially a man. Get it right. Understand where I'm coming from. I'm not throwing no blows. Righteousness comes first. Trust in the Almighty comes first. And then you know what else comes after that? Respect of those who come in His name. Honor them. That's something that we have lost today. We have lost that thing called honor. Let's read on, please, Maury.
Okay. A certain woman, the wife of one of the disciples of the prophets,
The wife
cried out to Elisha.
of one of the disciples of the prophets, one of the sons of the prophets, who was a servant of Elisha. She came, she knew where to go. She was having a hard time. She had nothing to eat. She didn't know how to survive and how to make it through. She didn't know what she was going to do. So what did she do? She put her trust in the Creator. Now she didn't, it's not that she didn't make prayer, because I'm sure she did. But she got up and she went to someone that she knew was with the Most High, on one accord with the Almighty, something that sisters don't want to do today. People teach you don't trust in the word of a man. Go to the Creator for yourself. That's not what our forefathers did. Our forefathers understood. You make prayer and then you get up and you go to the house of the Almighty. What did Samuel's mother, what did she do when she was barren and didn't have a child? She wanted a child. She prayed to the Almighty. And she went to the house of the Almighty and still prayed to the Almighty. Yes. And it took a man to say, all right, you know what? It's yours, sis. I see something special in you. So you can be a widow. You can be a single woman. But your relationship with the Most High must never falter. A lot of people, they break up with Israelite men and they right out in the streets acting a fool. You understand? It's not good. But let's get back to the subject. Read on, please.
Okay. Your servant, my husband's, is dead.
Now, hold up. She called her servant, her husband, the servant of another man. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. We had honor amongst ourselves. This is the man's woman. The man's dad. This is his woman, his wife, acknowledging that my husband was your servant, Elisha. Oh, come on. We stand strong today. We're not humbling ourselves to no other man. Who are you that I got to be your servant? Come on. We didn't play that in the ancient days. We understood that when you got a man that's a servant of the Almighty, Moray is here teaching every Shabbat. For many shall tell. He has a servant, and a man comes to him and says, and captain of the guard and watching the house and watching the door, Moray, what you need? I got you, Moray. People look down at that man and don't understand that that man is more honorable than the one who came in here and called the shots and said, you's a fool for doing that. That's right. That's not what it's about. I had a brother who walked with me. His name was Larry. Call him Yaakov. Remember Yaakov? Yaakov would serve in the capacity of a brother. Whatever I needed, Yaakov was there to get it, to help, to move out, and to get what he needed. Now, he didn't live a Hebrew lifestyle, but the Most High provided for him because he was with me. Now, some might look at that and say, you little arrogant fool talking about me. But I don't doubt the power of the Almighty. Because when you put your eyes in the direction of the King, whoever attaches themselves unto you, right, the Most High brings blessings on them. True. And you have to understand that. This woman, so that shows you the teachings that the man had to the wife. This woman says, prophet, man of the Creator, I know that my husband was your servant. We look at that today. I ain't nobody's servant. Don't be a fool. Get it straight. And don't allow yourself to allow your pride to rise up where you can't serve another man. This man came in here with me. He called me his teacher. But what did I do? I got up to get his plate, to get the food off the floor. I'm serving him. Right. Well, people might look at that and say, Prince, you ain't supposed to do that. Why not?
That's not true. Right.
Why can't I?
That's right.
Who am I that I can't serve my brother? Don't allow this confusion that we got keeping us separated in the midst of our people to destroy us, because it'll eat us up from the inside out. If this message ain't for you, then it ain't for you. But if it is, grab what you got to get out of it and learn.
Hallelujah.
Take it with you. Read on, please, slowly. I don't want to get lost.
All right. Your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know how your servant revered Yah.
Now, what she just say? You know how your servant loved the Creator. Yeah. So above Elisha, her servant was the man of the Most High as well. But yet he served another man. You understand? Don't get it twisted. You got to understand what the Most High has in store for us. Read on, please.
revered Yah, and now excuse me, and now a creditor is coming to seize my 2 children as slaves.
Now let's stop this for a moment. This sister has come to the man of the Creator because she has a need in her life. She has a pain inside of her heart. Her husband died. Her husband was a righteous man. A lot of people say, well, this ain't in your name, that ain't in your name. How you gonna walk with this man and that ain't in your name? And we allow that poison as a woman to get into our minds. I ain't no woman, but we allow that poison as a woman to get into our minds, and it keep us on the side and causes separation in our household. That ain't in your name, this ain't in your name. What do you think she might have had in her name at that time? We don't know. But I do know this, that she trusts in the Creator. And as long as you're walking with the Creator, doesn't matter what's in your name, He's going to make a way for you. You have to learn that trust. Right. A lot of us, we rely on this physical stuff more than we do the power of spirituality, the power of walking right with the Almighty. This sister said, the creditor is coming. And he wants to take me and my 2 children. See, but I don't have money to pay the creditor what we owe. They owe some debt. And according to the law, that's permissible. You sell your children off to pay off your debt. And then at a certain time, they're released. You follow me? But she didn't want that to happen. She didn't have the money to pay the debt. It was so bad in her household, she was broke. She couldn't even eat. She didn't know what to do. Sisters and brothers, I'm talking to the brothers too. I'm just using a woman as an example through this story, right, through this parable. Learn to put your trust in the Almighty, because He will make a way when you cannot see a way. You won't know what's going to happen, how it's going to get done. You have no idea. But put your trust in the Creator. Yes. You might be at your last leg. I've been trying for so long, man. I'm about ready to throw in the towel. I'm going to eat me a pork chop tonight, because it ain't no more food. That's right. You know? Trust in the Creator. Yes. Believe me, He will come through every time. Yes. As long as you're right with Him. No matter what the situation is, the Father will come through. Here we have a widow woman that just lost her husband. She goes to the Most High servant. She says to the Most High servant, I need your help. I done prayed and I done been on my knees all day, all night, and I don't know what to do. Now the creditor done sent that pink slip in the mail. He coming to get my children. What can we do? Let me tell you what's going to happen. And this is how the Most High works. The prophet goes and look at the woman. He says, what you got in your house? Oh, no. First thing he says is, what can I do for you? She was tongue-tied and twisted. She didn't know what to say. He going to tell her what he going to do. Read on. Let's see what's going to happen. Right. Read on.
Elishama says to her,
what did he say?
What can I do for you?
As a man of the Most High, you are here to serve the people. Yes. So your first question should be, how can I serve you? What can I do for you? Any man that is standing in a position of leadership, as a spiritual leader of a household, of a family, it is his duty to serve the people. Yes. And if he's not in position and willing and ready and able to serve you, then you got the wrong man standing in the head of your congregation. Right. Understand? What did Elisha say to the woman? Repeat that again, please.
Elisha said to her, what can I do for you?
And then what happened?
Tell me.
What happened after that?
What have you in the house?
Before she could even respond, she didn't say nothing, did she? Did she say anything?
He asked about 3 questions.
He said, what can I do for you? You see, because Elisha had the ear of discernment, which a lot of us spiritual leaders don't have. We don't listen to people when they talk to us. We're too busy wanting to talk, wanting to tell them what we feel and what we think, as opposed to having a listening ear. She told him what she wanted. Long time ago in the beginning of the chapter, a real spiritual leader will understand. He has a spirit of discernment. He heard her say, I'm broke. We ain't eating. We starving. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. This man is coming to get this money. He ain't got it, so he want my children in return. You see? He said, what can I do for you? And then he didn't have to say nothing else. He said, what you got in your house? Before she could respond, he beat her to it. What you got in your house? Now, Guess what she says? We ain't got nothing because we broke. She know we broke. We ain't got nothing in our house. That's what the average man would say. That's what the average woman would say. You know why? Because we have not the mind of the Creator. We don't know what the Father's capable of until He reveals to us, and then we still doubt. What we were talking about earlier when the children of Israel stood at the mount and saw the water open up, saw the heaps of water on both sides, and then the next day, the next chapter, we went right back to sinning against the Creator. Because we doubt even when we see. Even when we hear, we know, we understand, we go in the form of doubt. And that's not good. Trust in the Most High, never lose faith, always walk toward the Most High, always in truth. Walk toward Him, know that He's going to provide for you as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do by worshiping, honoring, and serving Him to the best of your ability. But watch what happens. He says, what do you have in your house? How many of us have been in a position in our lives where we didn't know the way out? You might be in this situation yourself today. This may be something that's going on in your life today. For little kids, it might be something in school where if you don't get that A on that next test, you're getting ready to fail. Your Abba gonna come and just whip you. Bang! And you don't want that. You're afraid of that. For us adults, it might be a situation in our lives where we might be looking for a husband. Or we might be looking for a wife. And life is difficult when it's been 4 and 5 years and Creator ain't nothing happening. Then go to the man of the Almighty. You've been praying all that time. You've been loyal and faithful to the King. Then go to the man of the Almighty and ask of Him. Try it and see if it works. Try the Most High. Don't doubt Him. My personal life, I had a foreclosure I was hitting with. These people say, yo, man, we coming to get you. I said, oh, man, what am I going to do? Talking to my lady, I said, the Creator going to make a way. And guess what happened? The Creator made a way. That thing gone. Done. History. The Most High made a way. And if I was on a more intimate setting, then I would explain details what took place. But because this is going to be seen by the world, ain't none of their business. But all I'm going to say is, the Most High made a way, that situation is gone.
Right.
How He do what He do, I couldn't see the way He was going to do what He did. I couldn't see it. But the Father said, poof, gotcha. And the way that He did it, let me tell you, it's not no ordinary way. People don't do. Things don't happen the way that it happened. That's how you know it ain't nothing but the Almighty.
Yes, yes.
When Dathan needed to be destroyed, Korah and his boys, the Most High didn't do it the way of normal man. He didn't do it. He had to let the people know that it was His hand. So He did something real unique and real special. Same thing He did with me, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful. Believe me, I am. Believe me. When that test of time come in your life, family, you always let the Most High know how thankful and appreciative you are for the small things to the greatest of things. Believe me. And what I'm saying right now is going to sink in. You probably had to watch this lesson over and over and over, but you really allow your mind and your spirit to travel and where I'm going right now, and it'll make so much sense to you. Let's read on and let's see what's happening with this woman that ain't got nothing to eat and can't pay her bills because she getting ready to lose her children.
What can I do for you? Tell me, what have you in the house?
What have you in your house? And what was her answer?
She replied, your maidservant has nothing
We broke.
at all.
We ain't got nothing in the house.
In the
Nothing at
house.
all. Nothing at all. Read on, please.
Your maidservant has nothing at all in the house except a jug of oil.
A jug of oil. That's all I got in my house. That's what she says. Now, ordinarily, that jug of oil probably been used for things like greasing your body or eating it and drinking it and also lighting the house at night. So in her mind, that jug of oil didn't mean much. It wasn't much. That's like me saying I got nothing but a loaf of bread in the refrigerator and I need to pay the electric, the gas, the water, and my mortgage. Those things alone add to $5,000, $6,000. What am I going to do with a loaf of bread to pay all those things? You understand? What if the Creator says to you, well, Prince, I want you to go open a bakery with those loaves of bread. I want you to take some water and put on that bread and rub that dough till you get donuts. And I'll give you all the donuts you need so you can sell them and go sell the donuts, and then you're getting $600 million from selling donuts now. Prince, that's a little exaggerating the point. No, it ain't. Because that's the power of the Almighty. He works like that. Watch what he's getting ready to do for this woman. If you don't believe me, watch her lives experience and see what happens. Read on, please.
Go, he said, and borrow vessels outside.
Now go everybody's house, everybody you know, all your friends, and borrow vessels from them. So she probably came back 30, 40, 50 vessels. She only had one little jar. Read on, please.
From all your neighbors, empty vessels, as many as you can. Then go in and shut the door behind you and your children, and pour oil into all those vessels.
I don't know, family, I gotta jump on this a little bit more. How many times have you had situations in your life when you actually doubted? You didn't know which way to turn. You didn't know how you was going to make it through.
That's right.
You didn't know what tomorrow was going to bring. And you doubted and you doubted and you cried and you pleaded. Creator, help me, please. Because this sister was doing exactly that. She was crying and pleading for the Almighty to help her. Now, when the servant of the Almighty came to her and said, what do you got in your house? She said, a bottle of oil. He said, go and borrow all the vessels that you can from all your friends and everybody else that you know. I would almost guarantee. She said, what the? I didn't ask for this. I had no idea he was going to tell me to go borrow them. I thought he was going to give me some money. I thought he was going to pay them bills. You know what I mean? Give me some cash so I can get this paid. See, the Most High don't work the way that you think he's going to work. He don't operate in the manner in which you're most comfortable with. Sometimes you got to get a little bit uncomfortable to receive the blessings of the Almighty. Sometimes you got to do things that you wouldn't normally do. This woman was a woman, her husband was one of the chief men. Why would she go borrow anything from anybody? She's supposed to have everything. Probably wasn't easy for her to do. And I'm sure she was questioning the decision that the man of the Almighty told her to do. Borrow a vessel. All right, can I borrow a pot from you, please? Can I borrow a pot from you? Can I borrow a pot from you? She went home with all these pots. And I know she's sitting back talking about, what he gonna have? Oh, he must want me to sell the pots. Maybe that's what he want me to do. But the pots would only bring you a small value. Watch what the Almighty has her to do. By obeying that one that you call the servant of the man of the Creator, by obeying, you might doubt when he's teaching and he's sharing this information with you. You might not see the strength of what he's sharing with you at this time. You may not see it. You may not even, it might be a small thing to you, especially with y'all little kids right now, sitting around learning all this great, rich knowledge. And you don't see the importance of it right now. I'm sitting here every Shabbat day, Moray sitting up there talking about learn the commandments, learn the commandments. You don't see where it's going to apply yet in your life. But I'm going to tell you, it's going to pay off for you. Learn them, and learn them well.
Okay.
Yes.
They will save your life. Do you know, oftentimes I used to sit back and wonder upon all the brothers that I used to know who are no longer here, that lost their lives on the Shabbat day, who could have been in a house of worship with us on a Shabbat day, but now because they wasn't, they got killed on that day, the Shabbat day. I had one son, Sarlandine. He'll tell you. Ask him. He did. Him and my other two sons, Bain, Corey, Moreyo, Karutz, and Tayan. One Shabbat day, they supposed to be going to Shabbat service. They out driving around somebody's car late at night, going to see some shorty, some girl. Ain't had no business doing it on the Shabbat day. They got stuck up. I'm thankful that they didn't get killed, didn't get shot, but that was a warning for them.
Yes.
And guess what? I hadn't had a problem with them since. That was it for them. They understood the relevance and the importance of the Shabbat day.
Right.
For the most part. Very good part of their lives. And right now they're probably honoring the Most High on the Shabbat day. You understand? It's deep how the Most High does things to get your attention. So let's read on. Let's see where we at now.
Excuse me. Go to your neighbors, empty the vessels empty the vessels as many as you can. Then go in and shut the door behind you and your children, and pour oil into those vessels.
Stop. It's very important that you follow instructions to the T. She was given a set of instructions. And you know, I'm saying this because you know, y'all in the audience, y'all know that we don't like to do, we got a better way. We got a shortcut. We know a better way. Well, when the man came to the prophet, and the prophet said to the man who had the lepers, he was contaminating his body, he said, go dip yourself in the Jordan 7 times.
Yes.
The man says to him, he says, well, what's the river, the waters over here is just as good. What I gotta go? And he went over there, and guess what? Didn't work. Follow instructions to the T. If you trust in the man of the Almighty, obey his voice. So that sister went into her house. She shut the door. She did exactly as she was commanded. And what happened? The blessings came upon her. Our instructions at this particular time is that book, the Torah. And as the Torah instructs us, it's our job, our duty, and our responsibility to obey it to the best of our ability.
Right.
Whatever you understand to be true, that's what you must do until the Father brings unto you his form of knowledge. Just don't close your door and say, I got the absolute truth, because when the Father reveals his truth to you, you will not be able to receive it.
Yes.
However you live your life right now, as I explained earlier, when the Most High brings his truth, most of the things that you do will be displaced by doing something other than what you thought, the things that you learned from man, the traditions that you've been taught and raised and brought up in thinking that man's way is the proper way. You don't even understand that it's man's way, but it is. Hold fast to the word of the Almighty. Like that sister, she had to hold fast to what the prophet said for her to do. Now read on and let's see what happens, please.
Your children, and pour oil into all those vessels, removing each one as it is filled.
Now, how many of us think we got a better way? I heard what he said, but you know, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna just swing around and get all the bottles at one time, or you know how we are. Come on, let's be honest. We'll hear the instructions, we know what's been said, but we always got a better way. We always think we know better than the man of the Creator. Read on, please. Just like the Creator said, Shabbat, the evening and the morning is the first day. Oh, we know better. The morning is the first day. It starts in, that ain't what the book say. It says from evening and then there was morning. That completion is one day. But we know better. We know better. Read on, please.
She went away and shut the doors behind her and her children. They kept bringing vessels to her.
They just kept bringing the bottles. And guess what she kept doing? They kept bringing.
And she kept pouring.
She kept filling. Keep on, please, Maury. Please
When
read.
the vessels were full, she said to her son, bring me another vessel.
Wait a
He
minute.
answered her.
This ain't supposed to happen. She only had one bottle. She had one bottle of oil. That was it. Now she filling vessels. A vessel is bigger than a bottle. You understand?
Yeah.
Come on, look at the way they're describing this thing. So now, how did this happen?
Scripture says it was a jug.
Oh,
Like a
jug.
gallon.
It wasn't supposed to happen, family. This was one of those things that scientifically, mathematically, it doesn't make sense. But we're dealing with a power that he's not bound to science. He's not bound to mathematics. His ability is beyond our wildest imagination. And this is why I say trust in him for all things. What did he do for this woman? Read on, please.
Keep pouring. When the vessels were full, when the vessels were Salika. When the vessels were full, she said to her son, bring me another vessel. He answered her, there are no more vessels.
Fill all the vessels with one bottle of wine. Read on, one bottle of oil. You want no wine, you might get drunk.
Yeah.
One bottle of oil.
And the oil stopped. She came and told the man of Yah, and he said, go sell the oil.
Now stop for a minute. I want to show you something that's really important. I went to Temple Bethel last week. Temple Bethel up on, what is that street?
Lower and Mainland.
Lower and Mainland in Philadelphia. Anybody who wants to know. And at the end of the service, the head rabbinite that was present there, Deborah, she was emphasizing the importance of olive oil. 9 times out of 10, that oil that she had in her house was olive oil. So, Iman wants to show us how important it is to make olive oil, how expensive it is, why it's so expensive, and how difficult it is to make it. So she pulls out a table. She takes a thing of oil, a little thing of olive, a little olive. She had her brothers and sisters line up, and each one goes up there and squeeze the olive till the oil comes out. That process is a slow process. And out of 1 olive, you might get about 10 drops of oil. So you have to use a whole lot of drops to fill up a gallon of water, a gallon size of oil. Understand what I'm trying to say? It's tedious work, and it requires a lot of olives and a lot of patience. So that's why it costs so much money, because it takes a lot of time to squeeze the oil dry out of an olive, real olive oil, not that stuff you're going to get from most of these supermarkets, because you know that stuff ain't real. A lot of that oil ain't real. You got to really do some research and check up on this stuff. They'll sell you some vegetable oil and tell you olive oil.
Yeah, we know about that, right?
Got to be careful. So here we have the system. The bottle is being squeezed. The olives are being squeezed. They're already there. So she takes and pours that and fill up all the vessels that she could find, that her children could borrow from the neighbors. She fills them all up with oil. And what does she do?
There are no more vessels, and the oil has stopped. She came and told the man of Yah, and he said, go sell the oil and pay your debt.
Now, she never even imagined that that was possible. The Creator made a way. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't think y'all understand. I really don't, because y'all sitting here like, what are you talking about? The Creator made a way in our lives when there was no way. We couldn't see a way out of the situation. We did not know how to do what it was that was needed, but because we trust in the Almighty, because we put our faith or truth and trust in the Almighty, the Most High brought us through. Understand what I'm saying to you, family. I don't care what your problem is today. I don't care how difficult it is. I don't care what it looked like, and like you said, I don't care what nobody say you can or cannot do. Trust in the Almighty. Morey gave us an example just a little earlier. Morey Yakiel. He says he was on his job, and the people tried to get him to eat out of a kitchen that was cross-contaminated with pork and all kind of detestable things. So he says, I ain't going to do that. They said, oh, you going to do it. He said, I'm not going to do it. And he walks away, and he takes the matter. These are Morey's words. He put the matter in the hands of the Creator and made prayer. Left it to the Most High. A little while later, I don't know if it was the same day, the next day, or the next week, those people came back to him and said, hey, listen, we got a whole new assignment for you. Morey didn't know this. He didn't know that. You see, he didn't have it in his mind that the Most High was going to do anything at all. He just trusted in the Creator. That he's here every Shabbat, the best he can, doing the best, even if he's wrong. If he's 100% wrong, you know it is 100% right. His motivation, his movement, his actions. He's giving it to the Creator with the best that he has. And that makes the difference. When we was in Egypt, we wasn't serving the Creator correctly. But what did he do? He reached right down there and brought us out. You know why? Because our desires, our passions, our motivations was in the right direction. Yes. We was doing the best we could with what we had. And I say the same thing to us today. We must do the best we can with what we have to work with. Where's that book at? This to not hit. See, this is all we got right now. This and the spirituality that the Almighty places within us. We have to learn to follow these instructions and do the very best that we can according to our understanding. We may differ from place to place. Long as if that brother differs from me, if he's moving to the best of his understanding, I'm moving to the best of my understanding, she's moving to the best of her understanding, then we're all right. Understand what I'm saying? Okay. So there should be no separation between us. Right. There should be no division between us.
We have to learn to put our trust in the Almighty. Him and Him alone will deliver us. It's not in our hands to do so, because none of us was there. I had a little sister the other day, told one sister, she don't look Hebrew.
Wow.
And that started a big riff. What you mean I don't look Hebrew? Sisters come to her aid to rescue and to fight for her. How you gonna tell us? Because she got straight hair and beautiful light skin. And that makes her don't look. So I asked the sister, well, what does a Hebrew look like? She says, Prince, I didn't mean it that way. And I believe she didn't. I believe that the sister was being genuine in her actions and her question. I don't think she was trying to do anything negative or start a fight.
Procedures, right?
But the way that it was presented, the whole world felt like, what you trying to say? What does Hebrews look like? What you gonna tell us sister she ain't no Hebrew because she got straight hair and beautiful skin, beautiful light skin I'm gonna say.
Right.
You're gonna tell us she not Hebrew. The sister wasn't saying I'm telling you you're not Hebrew. The sister was asking me, well, Prince, she don't look like she Hebrew. But what does a Hebrew look like? Now that's for us, not for the sister. What does a Hebrew look like? I mean, look at this brother here. Look at that brother. You know what I mean? Now, who am I to say to that brother he's not Hebrew because he's lighter than me?
Right, right.
Because his hair is longer than mine. He could be more devoted to the Most High than I could ever be in my life. And because I look a certain way means that it doesn't mean that at all.
Okay.
So we have to come together, family, irregardless of what we look like, irregardless of what we believe and what we think to be the way to the Almighty. We're first His people. All false things shall perish. All false things shall perish. We have to learn to trust in Him. Put our trust in Him, and He will deliver us. It's like that sister. Her husband was dead. She ain't had no head. It was just her and her 2 children. She ran out of all her money. She didn't know how she was going to pay her bills. She didn't know. She was really, really hurting. She prayed as much as she could. And then eventually what she did was she went to the man of the Almighty and she got her answer. A lot of us will hurt, we'll be crying, and we just go to the Most High ourselves because we don't want to trust in the word of a man, because put not your trust in man. That scripture has been misused and misunderstood, and plus also a lot of men has abused it. Let's be truthful about it. A lot of men in positions of power has abused their authority, has taken advantage of the people, has used the people and raped the women and plundered the household and took all the goodies out. They have. But I say to you, let the Most High deal with them. And He will. Because anybody that touches the apple of His eye, He will deal with it.
Teach.
Let's read on and let's get this next little portion done. And we're going to move on and we're going to be done for the day. Keep reading it, please.
Okay. She came and told the man of Yah, and he said, go and sell the oil and pay your debt, and you and your children can live on the rest.
Keep reading, please.
Okay. One day, Elisha.
Hold. Before you move on. He said, go and sell the oil. Pay your debt. And then you and your children can do what, family? Live off of the rest. So he didn't just give her what she needed. The Most High is like, awesome, y'all. He don't just give you He give you so much that you can just chill for the rest of your days. For real, for real. You got enough to get you together after it's over, man. We ain't serving no JC, no man died on a stick. Understand who you serve, family. He couldn't save himself. How he gonna save you?
That's right.
Understand what I'm saying? The Almighty is an invisible power that no man can understand. But you know what He do? He take care of His own. Come on now. And my daughter said to me, Abba, I need $10 to cover my mortgage this month. I'm going to make sure she got that $10, but a little extra because she got to get back home and she got to do other things in life.
Right.
If you have it, don't withhold it. Share. But don't be a fool in your givings. Because a lot of people will just ask just because they know you're going to give it. And they're going to have already, but really don't need it, but going to try to take advantage of it. Keep that in your mind, family.
Okay.
But the Creator didn't just give her what she needed. The Creator gave her so much more. Read on, please.
One day Elisha visited.
Elisha.
I'm sorry. One day Elisha visited Shunem.
Shulam.
Shulam.
Yes.
Shulam. A wealthy woman lived there, and One day Elisha visited Shulam. A wealthy woman lived there, and she urged him to have a meal, and whenever he passed by, he would stop there for a meal.
Now, just stop for a second. Some people may say, well, Prince, this is a different story, but it's not. Same story. The roles are reversed now. This woman ain't poor. This woman is wealthy. See, money can buy you so many things, but there's certain things that only come from the Creator. Only from the Almighty. And this is a perfect example. But I also want to pull your attention on this. The honor that she had for the man of the Creator. She wanted to set him up. This is a holy man. She says, my husband, I perceive that this man is a holy man. So he comes past here all the time. So let's go out of our way to make sure that he's set up. Let's give him a light. Let's give him a room and a bed. So whenever he comes, we did our part to the Almighty. They may have been living their life any kind of way. It doesn't say. They may have been doing anything. You know, they could have been, I don't want to say they were doing no evil, but they could have been just living like normal people. But they recognized that this man is a servant of the Creator. And I'm going to honor him. So they went out of their way, something they didn't have to do, and they set him up. But let's see what happens when you go out of your way to do things for the Almighty and his people. Read on, please. Especially those who stand in a position of leadership by showing respect and honor. Read on, please.
Once she said to her husband, I am sure it is a holy man of Yah, who comes this way regularly. Let us make a small enclosure upstairs in the chamber, and place a bed, a table, a chair, and a lampstand there for him, so that he can stop there whenever he comes to us.
Now, he didn't ask for none of that. First of all, a woman had to have some type of spirituality within her to want to give to the Almighty. Now, that sounds like a virtuous woman to me. That sounds like a Proverbs 31 woman. You know what I mean? Listen, sisters, I'm going to say this to you, and I'm going to say it to you because I mean it. If you know a man that you believe to be walking in the ways of the Most High honorably, don't take it lightly. That man will not be perfect. You won't find perfection in anyone. But if you really feel in your heart that this man is giving the best that he has to the Almighty, then you honor that man. Listen, brothers, if you know a man that you feel is walking in the ways of the Almighty to the best of his ability, then you honor that man. And the Most High will honor you. See, because what's about to take place in her life was a life-changing situation. Let's read and let's see what happens.
One day he came there. He retired to the upper chamber and laid down there. He said to the woman, Gehazi.
Oh, wait a minute. He came in and he laid down. He just started thinking, wait a minute. This woman and husband done did so much for me. Gehazi, come here. Go see what's going on with them. See what we can do to return what they've done to all the kindness and mercy they've shown to him. I came in here today. Maurice said, come on. Everybody stood up. That's honor. You know what that means? That means that now I'm indebted to you because you showed me respect. Now I got to show you some respect. That's all it is. You don't let your head blow up. Oh, I'm the man. You ain't nothing. You flesh and blood. When somebody's kind and good and respectful to you, you exchange that by being kind and good and double respectful to them. That's how you do that. Anything other than that, you're a fool. And you're not worthy of honor. Read on, please.
Call the Shulamite. The Shulamite
Call the Shulamite woman,
He called her, and she stood before him.
She said, I didn't ask you for anything. I didn't ask you for anything. I just want you to enjoy this. Read on, please.
He said to him, tell her, you have gone to all this trouble for us. What can we do for you?
Watch what she says. This lady is humble. She's beautiful spirit. Beautiful essence. It's stories like this that cause women to be set apart in the book. We should aspire, our sisters should aspire to be more like these type of women. And not like them people that we see on the televisions and in the movies. But more like the sisters of the book. Watch what happens. Read on, please.
Can we speak in your behalf to the king or to the army commander?
Gehazi thought he knew what she wanted. You know, that's like we think we knew. We know. We don't know what these people want, what our sisters want, what our brothers want. We don't know. But watch what happens.
She replied, I live among my own people. What then can be done for her? He asked. The fact is, said Gehazi. She has no son.
Gehazi realized that there is no heir to her husband's house. She has no son. Now imagine this woman. She might have been crying to the Father. Ain't nothing but the Creator put that spirit on Gehazi to open up his mind to know that this woman needed a son.
Right.
Again, this is how the Most High works. Read on, please.
The fact is, said Gazan, she had no I'm bad with names. She had no son, and her husband is old. Call her, he said. He called her, and she stood in the doorway. And Elisha said,
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't tell me this man great. Tell her, I'm going to give you a baby. Don't tell me that. He's a man. What gives him the power to say, I'm going to bring life into your loins? Come on, it's a fairy tale, man. This can't be real. Wait a minute. No, I don't think y'all understand where I'm trying to go right now, y'all.
We get it.
I don't think y'all understand. There is nothing that the Most High can't do for us.
Right.
Nothing. Now, he's not going to violate his own ways, and all of a sudden this immaculate conception stuff started happening. He's sending an angel to do it to this other man's wife. That ain't going to happen. So we ain't going to have that question.
Right.
We going to know who the daddy is.
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
That ain't, the Creator don't work that way. He ain't going to do that. But this woman was without child and had a husband. Now they must have been up in age. I'm assuming I'm interjecting that.
Mama said that he was old.
Then I ain't injecting it then. I was just going off memory. So now what happens is the Creator, who's the power of all powers, the Creator of all things, who has given us life and breath and the ability to produce child, has taken that man and touched that man in a special way to open him up, and touch that woman in a special way to open her up so that they can produce seed. Think about our father Abraham and Sarah, 90 years old. She walking around with a big stomach. What is that, a tumor? Ain't no tumor. She says, I'm with child. 90, probably got a cane. 90 years old, walking around with a baby about to be born in her loins. This king we serve ain't no joke, family. Right. Don't take him lightly, and don't think he can't fix whatever your problem is. Don't think he can't fix it, because he can. Don't allow anyone to deceive you, to take you in another direction, to go worship a power that is not a power.
Okay.
The Creator is all you need, and you have to understand that. Read on, please, Moray.
Excuse me. And Elisha said, at the season next year, you will be embracing a son.
What? She said, don't play with me, man. She said, don't play with me. That's like telling a woman that's been dried up for 10, 20 years, then tried to produce and produce and produce, And you go, Moray Yakiel, just go over to her and say, my sister, I want to whisper something in your ear. She say, what? What, Moray? Because you know they got a little attitude. Say, what, Moray? Because he think he bossy, you know. What, Moray? Moray say, sister, the Creator gave me a dream last night. You was pregnant in a dream. He told me to tell you, or he ain't gonna say he told me to tell you, because Moray's scared to blaspheme the Creator. So he gonna say, and in my dream, next year went by and you had a baby. He gonna be real careful how he say it, because he don't wanna, you know,
Exactly.
he don't wanna do like I did and talk about it's gonna rain and nothing happen. He don't wanna do that. He gonna be real careful about it. He gonna say, you know what, and this is what happened in the dream, and by a year from now, you know, you was pregnant, you had that baby, it was a little boy, you named him Yakiel. Yeah, credit to him. Like he had something. You gotta give him something out of it, right? Yeah, I'm gonna give my son, his father's name is John, but you want me to name him Yakiel. But I think that's
gonna be looking at me.
you know what? But I think that's honor. Oh, I do. I'm serious. That's how you honor the men of the Most High. You honor them because that name will live forever. Your husband, if he's that kind of man and he got some real honor about himself, he wouldn't have no problem with that. Because he tried for 30 years. The Most High brought the revelation through the brother.
Right.
The brother whispered into the sister's ears and said, this is what's going to happen by this time next year. It's going to be here. So how else can she show honor to a man? Because she ain't going to worship him. She ain't going to bow down and prostrate herself to him. She'll be respectful to him. But at the same time, my little son, I would like for him to take your name. Because if he can grow up to be half the man as you are, and the Most High bless him in that manner, I will be honored. That's how honorable men get down. But these little sissified men we raising today, these little sissified men that we got out here today, ain't no other man gonna be whispering in my wife's ear, what's wrong with you, man? I know you the spiritual leader and all, but you're a little too close, homie. You know, we start doubting our own manhood. Because the spiritual leader had a message from the Creator for your wife, and he only wanted her to hear it. When that prophet came to visit Mordecai's wife, he came just to her. He's Samson's mother. He came just to her. Manoah, right, thank you. See what I mean? He came just to her, and he spoke to her. But then he did go and say, yo, Manoah, I want to know what the angel said. Tell that nigga to come back. Prove it to me. You know? But the whole thing that I'm trying to say is, we can't be too macho as men when it comes to the workings of the Almighty. We have to humble ourselves and take it down a couple of notches and allow the Most High to work through those He chooses to work through. All right? Let's read on so we can hurry and get through this. Time is of the essence right now. The sun is going down and people like to run out of the house. Make sure I lock the door. And if he come by, I'm going to trip him, you know? Read on, please.
You will be embracing a son. She replies, please, O Lord, lowercase, my Lord, man of Yah.
She called him a what?
Man of Yah.
A man of the Creator. She acknowledged that I know who you are. How many of us would actually go to a man today in his physical flesh and say, I know you're a man of the Creator? Do you have a message for me from the Creator? No, we don't do that today because you know why? The adversary, the slave master, have taught us to hate ourselves and to hate everything that looks like us. Right. We don't have trust in ourselves. We don't. We don't rely on ourselves for anything. The women turn against the men turn against the women, and it's evil. But it's something that needs to be undone in our culture today. And I'm speaking to you from the heart, family. We have to learn to put our trust and faith in each other again. We have to. The Most High will guide the way and prepare the way, and you will know who is sent by Him. You will know. It's up to you to be real with yourself and honor those that the Most High put in place over you. It ain't got to be your husband either. Read on, please.
You will be embracing a son. She replies, please, my Lord, man of Yah.
Don't play with me.
Do not delude your maidservant.
Don't play with me. That's what she said. She said, nigga, please. She said, don't play with me, mother. She said, don't play with me.
Yo.
It's gone now. It's out. It's over and done with. Go ahead, Moray. Go ahead, read, please.
The woman.
But you know what I'm trying to say. Y'all know how y'all get when y'all think somebody playing, right? Read on, please.
The woman conceived and bore a son.
Now the word of the Most High came to pass. And she conceived and she bore that child. But yet the father wasn't finished with her yet.
Right.
The father still needed to show her and us his power. Did you hear what I said? The father had to show her and now us his power. What he's capable of. Now watch what happens. Read on, please.
The woman conceived.
It should be KJ.
Okay. Go ahead. You can finish.
Okay. Read on, please.
The woman conceived and bore a son at the same season, the following year, as Elisha had assured her. The child grew up. One day, he went out to his father among the reapers. Suddenly, he cried to his father, "Oh, my head, my head!"
Now
He
what happened? Now what happened, y'all? Somebody tell me what just happened so far. Somebody tell me. Anybody listening? If you ain't listening, lesson over. We done. Believe me, if you ain't listening, we can shut it down right now, go home, and shall I be over. Can somebody tell me what we just covered in this portion, this last little portion that just been said? Yes?
Well, the child had grown up now.
Yes.
And at this moment right now, he's crying to his father that his head is hurting.
You know, that's a special child, man. That is a special child. The Most High gonna bless her life 1,000 times.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful. Now this child, this son, is crying out to his father now, my head, my head. Now, everybody know who this child is, right?
Yes.
This is the child that came to them in their old age.
The miracle child.
Can you imagine how they love this child?
Yes.
Now the thing that they love is about to be taken away. How many times is the thing that you love? Nobody ain't saying nothing. That's because you ain't grown up yet. Wait till y'all get like where we at. And you'll see that a lot of times the Father takes that what you love, that thing that you don't want to let go, that thing that you worship and idolize, because you done went too far. Believe me. And he wasn't pleased. But all you need to do is humble yourself and watch what he does. Watch his works happen in your life. Read on, please, Moray. Watch it.
Excuse me.
Usually when the Father give it back, I gotta tell you, because it happened to me, it's gonna
Hallelujah.
happen to you.
Praise God.
I know how it go. Usually when he gives it back, I remember Moray, another Moray told me he had this car that he used to just love. Moray Neftali. Love this car. He used to go out on a Shabbat day and wipe the car off. Shabbat. That's how much he loved the car. One day somebody came past and smacked it up. He was hurt. He was crying because he loved that car. But the Father said, you love that more than you love me. Anytime you're going to violate my day to go out and wipe this car off, you give it more emphasis than you do the Shabbat day. Family, I'm going to tell you, don't put nothing before you put the Almighty.
That's right.
Always keep him up there and everything else down there. Be it man, be it woman. Mistake I made as well. And the Father just says, zoop.
That's right.
Don't put nothing before this king. If he say don't, then you don't. If he say do, then you do. You move according to his will. Well, watch what the Father does. And what I was about to say is, usually when he blesses you and gives you back what you're supposed to have, it's 1,000 times better than what you wanted.
Yes.
Than what you had before. You understand? Moray John, he riding now is nice. It's really nice. Y'all should check it out. Understand what I'm saying? You know, you hold on to this woman. This woman got you violating the Shabbat day, doing all types of smoking weed, all in the back of the club every Friday night, out partying. And on Shabbat morning, you run to the house of worship. Shalom, Adon. Shalom, Sister Akoti. Faking it. But that woman got you tripping because you know better. And in your heart, you wrestling with it. Believe me, the Father will take away and he might just cut her head off. If you're that valuable to him, if you mean that much to him, he will destroy her. But what I like the part when he do this, he ain't got to take a life. He just rouse up a spirit inside of her to hate you. And you still running around like a little cat. Oh, I smell cat food. I smell cat food. But you know what? The Father said that food ain't for you no more.
That's right.
And you too stupid and ignorant in your own essence to understand
That's right.
that food ain't for you no more.
Teach.
You understand? It's hard for us to let go of them things, man. Because we don't put so much energy, so much time into the evil things. And we place those things on a pedestal higher than we place the Almighty and our loyalty and love and devotion to Him.
Teach.
You understand? So they loved that boy. That boy was special to them. Because it came in a time in their lives where they was old and didn't have no question about her conceiving a child. No question. And guess what happened? Now he's out in the field, his head hurting. Then he's going to go home and never wake up until a certain time happens in his life. Read on, please. Trust in the Almighty in all things. Please.
Oh, my head, he says to a servant. Carry him to his mother.
Take him to his mouth. Oh, wait a minute. You know how we are as men? We want to be the man all the time and boss everything and tell everybody what did that nigga. What that brother say? The first thing he said in his mouth. Now I bet he was strong and macho and on point, but guess what he said? When that little boy was in pain? Because ain't nobody's love like a mother's love.
You got that right.
Ain't nobody's love
That's
like a
right.
mother's love. That man was honorable enough to recognize I can't help him.
Teach.
He do what he can because it's his blood. But guess what he said? Take him to his mother.
Yep.
We can pretend and fake and act all we want as men. But ain't no love like that love that comes from a woman.
Teach.
A mother.
Yes.
Believe me. Read on, Moray, please.
Excuse me.
He said, take her to her mother. Take him to his mother.
Take him to his mother.
Yeah, lay him down in the bed. Go ahead.
He picked him up and bore him to his mother.
Now, who was he telling to take him to his mother?
Servant.
That's right, his servant. See, today, we got a problem with being a man's servant. But in the ancients of days, we ain't had no issue.
It's true.
None.
Part of our culture.
That's right. This boy was old enough to be out working in the field, so he had to be of some size. And he told us, my head, now I'm telling my servant, so my servant must have been a man. Take him to his mother. But let's see what happens, please. Read on.
He picked him up and bore him to
Picked
his
him
mother.
up. Picked him up, family, and carried him.
And the child sat on her lap until noon.
Now watch this. He went and he sat on his mother's lap. Now his mother is probably playing in his hair, caressing him, giving him herbs, trying to get him right. But the Most High had a plan. I don't know if y'all understand me.
Right.
When the Most High's plan is in motion, there is nothing that you can do to stop it.
That's right.
Nothing. And we were speaking about that earlier. What was wrong with them Egyptians? They couldn't see. The Most High had a plan.
Yes.
He didn't want them to see. When the Most High has a plan for you in your life, nobody or nothing but you can get in that way. And sometimes not even you. Because he'll remove you from the equation and raise somebody else up and still get his ultimate divine plan accomplished. Understand that. That's right. So understand what I'm saying, family. When you know you're headed in that direction and you're in the middle of the Most High's plan, go with the flow. Don't fight against it. Go with the flow. Read on, please.
Okay. And the child sat on her lap until noon, and he died.
What happened?
He died.
He sat on her neck, on his mother's lap, on the most comfortablest place he could ever be.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that.
Being nurtured.
Being nurtured by a woman. And I mean that with everything in me. We men, we ain't got what those women possess. We don't. It's just real. We don't have it. And she probably playing in his hair and rubbing him down and giving him those
Man ain't
herbs
doing
and
that.
talking
Even-
that good
Ain't no
talk.
man doing
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna say shut up, little nigga.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say shut up, son. Get up, son. Look at KJ. Boy, I tell you, them women, they got something on us, man. It's a mother is, you'll be, and it ain't nothing against the children. It ain't. It's just a woman's nature. A woman can lead, I better lead this subject and move in a different direction. A woman could tell the children something in a certain way that if we say it, are we too hard or too rough? But the woman say it, and the child is just so gullible and understanding and loving and, you know, but it's something about us men, we just don't bring it like the woman bring it.
right.
Let's read on, please.
She took him up and laid him on the bed of the man of Yah, and left him and closed the door.
Wait a minute. What was so special about the man of Yah of the Creator's bed? See, she honored him. She understood who he was. She understood that. But what she did, and I don't know if all y'all see, the Creator gave it to her, she gave it back to the Creator. That's what she did. How many of us take our problems and our burdens and lay it at the foot of the Almighty?
Teach, Nancy.
No, we too busy trying to find another way out. Now, I'm not saying don't put forth your hand. I'm saying you lay it to him first, and then you proceed and try to find a way. And he will bless your efforts. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you ain't got enough money, take it to him first before you put an application in at Walmart or Kmart. Read on, please.
Or we can come to the man of Elohim and get a couple.
Nah, he ain't giving you nothing. He's gonna make you work for it. Ask my son. Ask my son. He'll tell you. He's inherited to the throne. He'll tell you. Read on, please.
Okay. She took him up and laid him on the bed of the man of Yah, and left him and closed the door. Then she called to her husband, "Please send me one of the servants and one of the she-asses, so I can hurry to the man."
Watch what she doing now. Read on, please.
So I can hurry to the man of Yah and back.
Watch what the husband says. Sometimes, brothers, sometimes your wife is more spiritual than you.
Right.
Sometimes she on point. Just because you're the man don't mean she ain't spiritually connected to the Almighty. Sometimes your mind, you be so wrapped up in so many little things, and she be the one home studying, reading, learning. But you too stuck on, I'm a man, I run this, it's my house, that you don't even see the spiritual connection. Watch what happens, watch what takes place. Read on, please. This part is very important. Watch it.
But he said, "Why are you going to him today?"
It's not the Shabbat day. Is it a feast day? Is it the new moon? Why you going to the man and all? Wait a minute, my son just died. He's upstairs on this man's bed, dead. He asked him, "Why you going to see this man today?" She discerned that spiritual connection within a woman is special. She says, "I know what must be done." But the man saying, "Hold up. Why you gotta call him?" You know how we get. What's so special about you, my wife? Well, why you on? Oh, wait a minute. What's that all about? Come on now. She knows, and she not too stuck in her persons that she can understand where to go for her blessings. Read on, please.
But he said, "Why are you going to him today? It is neither a new moon nor Sabbath." She answered, "It's all right." She had the ass saddled and said to her servant, "Urge the beast."
That's all she had to say. It was all right. And he trusted her. You understand what I'm trying to go? What I'm trying to say right now? All she had to say back, she didn't argue. She didn't give him all this. Well, you this, and she ain't going out there. She said, "It's all right." And he said, "Okay, be it your way." Read on, please. Sisters, it was a message in that. Read on, please.
Okay. Urge the beast on. See that I don't slow down. Don't slow down unless I tell you. She went on until she came to the man of Yah on Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel.
Mount Carmel used to be a place where we used to worship at. So she actually went like to the temple. That's where we worship. We had a tent there where we worship the Almighty at Mount Carmel. Well, the men of the Most High would frequently gather at this place. Read on, please.
At Mount Carmel. When the man of Yah saw her from afar, he said to his servant Gehazi, "There is the Shulamite
There's
woman.
a Shulamite woman.
Go hurry towards her and ask her, 'How are you?'"
What's going on? Why is she coming here? Read on, please.
"How is your husband?
How's your husband?
How
How's that
is
little
the
boy?
child?"
Read on.
We are well, she replied. But when she came up to the man of Yah,
She didn't want to leave a message with Gehazi. She wanted to talk to the source, or as close to the source as possible.
Right.
And as close to the source as possible was that man who represents the Almighty. You understand?
Got it.
She put all her pride and arrogance down, and she said, you know what, Gehazi, I mean, you my man and all that. You cool, right? But I need to talk to the servant. She said, I got a serious matter right now.
Right.
You know? This ain't no little light thing to be taken light. This is a very, very, very serious matter. She went to the one that she knew had that special connection with the Almighty. She talked to him. First, she gonna cuss him out in a respectful way. Watch what she says. Read on, please.
we are well, she replied. But when she came up to the man of Yah on the mountain, she clasped his feet. Gehazi stepped forward to put her away.
Wait a minute. Do y'all see what's unfolding right here before your face? She walked up to the man of the Almighty and prostrated herself to the ground and grabbed. How many of y'all sisters can see yourself doing that today? Remember, the Most High says he hasn't changed. From today to yesterday, neither tomorrow. He's the same. So if we're honoring our elders and our leadership and the men of the Most High in that manner, then why can't we do it today? But she won't cuss him out though. Watch. She respectfully does what she has to do. Read on, please.
Stepped forward to push her away. But the man of Yah said, let her alone.
Let her alone.
For she is in bitterness.
Distress. She was hurting. Now Gehazi couldn't discern this, but the prophet, the Almighty servant, understood what was going on with this woman. Because he had that listening ear, remember? He discerned her countenance. And he knew that she wouldn't travel. Shulam was so far away, she wouldn't have came just for to be saying, hey, Shalom, how you doing today? She had to have an urgency why she came. Well, read on, please.
Distress, and Yah had hidden it from me.
The Creator hid it from him. He wasn't used to that. He wasn't accustomed to the Most High hiding things from him. Read on.
And has not told me. Then she said, did I ask my Lord for
She
a
cussing him
son?
out. Y'all don't hear her, do she?
We hear.
She respectfully. She said, did I ask my Lord for a son? Did I ask you for $1 million? $2 million? Yeah, I did ask for 60 million, but did I ask for that? Why you give it to me and now I'm going to take it away and make me have to eat out of a trash can again? Why you show me what a good life was about and then take it all from me? Why would you do that, Creator? I don't understand it. I didn't ask you to make me rich. But now I got to eat out of a trash can? Something got to be explained to me. Watch what happens. She said, did I ask you for a son? Now she loved that son. He grew up. He was out in the fields working. They were so proud because they was old. And they bore a child. You know how proud she was? And you know how people gave her props? For that type of stuff. That's not something that happens often. They knew she was blessed and touched by the Almighty. And now, when they take her son away, what did that mean? That means she's now cursed by the Almighty. But she's saying, I didn't deserve it. Why did this happen to me? It happened, sisters, so we could see today the power of the Almighty, how he affected your life way back then. Read on, please.
Excuse me. Did I ask my Lord for a son? Didn't I say, don't mislead me?
Don't mislead me. Respectfully. She ain't said nothing nasty out of order yet, did she?
No.
She's down at this man's feet, looking up at him, saying all these wonderful things, but she's getting it off her chest. But it's all about how you say what you must say to allow, first of all, a man to still be a man. That's the first thing. And maintain his dignity as being a man when you speak your words of disagreement with him. Super most important. You ain't got to raise your voice. You ain't got to get nasty. You ain't got to get all loud-mouthed and say hurtful things. Respectfully, you can say what you need to say. And she did it in one of the most respectful ways. She got down and cupped his feet. That means I'm submissive to you, and I understand that, but I'm going to let you know what I got to say. Read on, please.
Excuse me. He said to Gehazi,
Gehazi.
tie up your skirts. Take my staff in your hand.
Now the man of the Most High had a job to do in Carmel where he was. Other than that, he'd have got up and left. But what did he say to his servant? He said, servant, I want you to take this staff in your hand. Bang! And I want you to go down here and lay this staff on this boy till I get there. You understand? Do y'all understand what's happening though?
No, sit down.
His staff was enough to maintain. His staff, just his staff was enough. Those things that belong to you possess your spirit. And we don't understand the spirit world because we don't trust it, we play with it. But it's real. That's why the Most High say don't steal. Because you're stealing something that belongs to somebody else. It's taking his spirit. It can't do that. This brother's kufi belongs to him. If I took that and put it in my pocket, I just put a curse upon myself because I am trying to force something upon me that doesn't belong to me. Right. Spiritually, we don't understand that. You're going to have to hold it up, man, so you can make sure you're right with that because a lot of people going to be watching this joint. That's what stealing is all about. Everything that belongs to you carries your spirit. It's yours. And if somebody wants to, and be careful, and I'm saying this because you may not be so familiar with this. When somebody wants something to give to you, always give them something back in exchange. If it's a penny or a nickel, whatever it is, so that your spirit now possesses it. You understand? Don't be so quick to accept stuff from people that you don't know. Because they can be putting spirits upon you. Right. Now, Prince traveling somewhere that you might not be so familiar with, but it's real. You can accept it, you can reject it, you can do what you want, but it's real. Don't allow people to give you things, people that you're not familiar with, who they worship and how they get down. Right. Always give them something in exchange. I'm the kind of man like this. If a man says to me, well, Prince, I really like that jacket you got on, my jacket got to come off, and I got to give it to that man. But when I give it to that man, he got to give me something back. Because I don't want once you pay me for it, my spirit is released off of it. Those who understand the spirit realm know that once they got something of yours, they can do something to you. But if you make them pay for it, that relieves your spirit of it. Pay attention, because you might miss something that might save your life one day. Okay? Read on, please.
Tie up your skirts, take my staff in your hand, and go.
Take my staff in your hand and go to the boy. Place it on top of the boy until I get there. Not that he took his time, but he had another job to do. I mean, come on, hold up a second. Hold up, Murray. Little boy just died. Now, what's more important than rushing to that little boy to try to... Oh, because the Most High giveth, the Most High taketh away. Now, what will be more powerful than that little boy? Now, who knows how long his mom traveled to get to him and how long the prophet got to travel to get back to him again? How long he been dead? I don't know. 3 days? Something like that? But watch the power of the Almighty. Watch what he get ready to do. Because all this stuff that I read today, family, was for y'all and for me. For me first and then y'all. Because you got to understand the power of this king that you say out of your mouth that you serve. Right. You got to know his strength. You got to know how powerful he is. Now, the prophet took his time. He had a job to do first in Carmel, serving the people, serving the Creator. And when he got finished, he went and did what he had to do for that boy. It wasn't no big rush to him. It wasn't a big rush because he knows the Most High. He knew the Most High would deliver. So he tells my servant, here, take the staff just to assure the lady, you know, that we got her. The Most High going to be with her. Here, take the staff and go do what you got to do. Read on and watch what happens, please.
Take my staff in your hand and go. If you meet anyone, do not
Don't
greet
even
them.
say nothing to him. You greet anybody along the way, you meet anybody, see anybody try to stop you, don't say not a word. Keep it moving. Because you know why that was important? We didn't want anybody else to utter anything in reverence to that boy having his life saved. Right. Nobody could ever say that they did this. Just like with Abraham. When Abraham went out, right, he didn't want those people money. Right. The people wanted, Abraham, we can give you this, we give you. Abraham says, no, I don't want your money. Keep the booty, keep the loot, keep it all. Because Abraham didn't want nobody taking the glory of the Almighty. Neither did the prophet. Read on, please.
If you meet anyone, do not greet him, and if anyone greets you, do not answer him.
Don't say
and
nothing.
Place my staff on the face of the boy.
When you get there, place my staff on the boy. Read on, please.
But the boy's mother said, as Yah lives, as you live, I will not leave you. So he arose and followed her.
Yes.
Gehazi had gone on before them and had placed the staff on the boy's face.
Do you see the trust she had? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you see the trust that she had in the Almighty? She said, no, prophet, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to wait for you to finish your service, and I'm just going to go with you. I'm not letting you go. I know who you are. You're going to come and heal my son, and I'm going to wait for you. Now, Gehazi, you can go ahead on. And that's what Gehazi did, what he was told to do. But she stayed with that one that she knew represented the Almighty. Read on, please. Let's see what happens, how it unfolds.
Gehazi had gone on before them and placed the staff on the boy's face. But there was no sound or response.
But what was happening is he was being preserved. He was being preserved. But go ahead, let's see what's happening.
He turned back to meet him and told him, the boy has not awakened.
Nothing happened. What did Elisha say? Read on, please.
Elisha came into the house, and there was the boy laid out dead on the couch.
Now, a lot of people try to say that Elisha, prophet, gave the boy mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and brought him back to life as what we do today, known as CPR. I've never heard of anybody that went hours and received CPR and came back to life. No. Let alone days.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So this is a power that most people don't understand that's working right here. A power that you and you and you and you and you and you, we all doubt. We all don't understand. Because as soon as our backs get up against the wall, instead of doing this, we do this. Or some of us run. When our backs get up against the wall and there's no way out because the enemy surrounds you, instead of doing this, what we should be doing is this.
Hallelujah.
And then get up and defend yourself. Learn, family. Because the keys to success that I'm sharing with you right now have been proven throughout time and the immortal of time to be true. It's being shared with you today. What you do with it is up to you. It's been delivered to you at your door. Read on, please.
He went in, shut the door behind the two of them, and prayed to Yah.
What did he do?
Prayed to Yah.
Notice the prophet. What did he do? He went back, and the first thing when his back was against the wall, what did he do? He closed the door and made prayer. Tefillah, Akshah, King. He trusted the Most High. He knew the Most High. But he also knew that only the Most High can deliver. That's what you have to understand, family. I don't care how difficult your problem is. I don't care how it looks, how the road looks. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You go before the Almighty before you do anything else. Put your trust in Him before you do anything else. And allow Him to get you the victory. Read on, please.
Then he mounted the bed and placed himself over the child.
He laid on top of the boy. Read on.
Then he mounted the bed and placed himself over the child. He put his mouth on his mouth.
Put his mouth on his
on
mouth.
his eyes.
His eyes on his
and
eyes.
his hands
and his
on
hands on his hands. I don't know if y'all understand what that is. Now these two have just become one in the most intimate spiritual connection. It's very important. What he's doing is giving us an example of life. Read on, please.
And his hands on his hands as he bent over it. And the body of the child became warm.
Whoa.
He stepped down.
Did y'all hear that? He was cold. That means he was dead in the door now. Oh, wow, that's right. But Elijah, the prophet of the Almighty, did something super great. And we talking about bringing back the dead to life. That's a perfect example of bringing back the dead to life. But when you trust in the Almighty,
you yourself can have that same ability. Oh, Prince, you crazy. Now we know you kookalook. Let me tell you something, family. Ain't nothing taking place in that book that can't happen with all of us. Nothing. You have to know within yourself. You have to be that in tune with the Almighty that you have that you command these things from the Creator, and it'll be done. Some of those things Moshe did, he didn't ask for. He commanded it. He commanded it because he had that respect from the Almighty where the Most High blessed him and gave him at his request. Read it real carefully. Read it real carefully. Like when leprosy came upon his sister. Moses said, heal her now. That's a command. Who are you that you can command the Creator? It's not like we understand it to be. Moshe was speaking to the forces that cause things to take place. The Most High, the Creator of all creation. Says that Moshe was welcome in all of his houses. What does that mean? That means you can get close to the ultimate source. That nobody can refuse you or reject you when you command it. There were stories about our forefather, King Solomon. And Prince going off on a little tangent again, because this is not written in Tanakh. This is written in some of those books that we don't want to travel in and talk about and read about. But they used to say that King Solomon used to have a magic carpet where he would sit. I know you know this story, right, Moray?
No, I don't.
No? Well, I'm going to share it with you today. He used to have a magic carpet where he used to sit on the carpet. They have ancient maps of the ancient world that's designed to a T. But they didn't have airplanes back in those days. Yeah. And they said that those maps, some of them was drawn by our forefather, King Solomon. They said he used to sit on a rug and command the forces. See, they said Solomon was the most wisest of all the men. They don't just say that because he had riches and gold or because he can answer riddles. See, to be the wisest of all men means you can tap into knowledge that other men can't have no understanding about. It's debatable. You can dispute it. You cannot accept it. But I tell you what, he wasn't called the wisest man because he can break a riddle. He was called the wisest man because the Most High blessed him with the ability to do what he did. So they say he used to sit on the carpet and command. And the carpet would rise and take him wherever he wanted to go. And people look at me, people hear the story, and people say, Prince, you crazy. And I'll accept that if that's what you want to say. But we just got finished reading the story now. We get down to the book where a man just called a boy's life who had been dead for a while to come back to life. Something else that if we did it today, somebody say, y'all crazy, that didn't happen, the boy never died. Understand how powerful the Almighty is. Our forefathers stood by a body of water with no way across. Is that right? No way across that water. None. And all of a sudden, Moshe standing on the mountain with his rod in his hand. What you think that was about? Why did Moshe stand on the mountain for all day and all night? And then all of a sudden, the east wind just came and the waters started abiding back. What do you think Moshe was doing on that mountain all that time? Understand, when you're talking about serving the Almighty, you're talking about some real powerful stuff. Real powerful stuff. And it ain't that ordinary run-of-the-mill stuff that you talk about when you're walking down the street and you're in a Christian church. We're talking about knowledge, real, pure wisdom and knowledge of the Almighty. Everybody don't have access to the Almighty. But we do because we are of His elect. We are called apart, set apart, and we are chosen. Elijah is showing us today this ability. He ain't doing nothing that we can't do. That's Elisha? Yeah. Because Elijah does it too. Yeah. We're not doing anything that he can't do. But the problem is we don't believe it. We don't know it. We done gotten so far away from who we are. I told y'all we're sick. Our minds don't allow us to expand that far. What you need in your life, you can command. Just by trusting in the Almighty and serving the Almighty. What do you think when you're making prayer? What you think you're doing? You're trying to bring into existence something that doesn't exist. Unless you just think in the Almighty, and even then, your thanks doesn't exist until you actually spew them from your loins, your essence. And then they exist, and they reach the heavenly hosts, the creator of all creation. Understand? There's a whole lot for us to learn, family, but a lot of us are too afraid to really learn the truth of this king. So all I say to you is when the truth has really come, and you see that you got to adjust your behavior, your thoughts, and your patterns, and you see that you was way off in another field somewhere, learn to embrace the Most High's truth. Let's end this out and close this out real quick, please.
And the body of the child became warm. He stepped down, walked once up and down the room, then mounted the bed, then mounted and bent over him. Thereupon the boy sneezed 7 times,
Who would have believed that?
and the boy opened his eyes.
Who would have believed that that was possible? Would any of you believe that today? I mean, honestly, would anybody believe that today?
No.
That's right. Just like you ain't believe the rain was going to stop and all that other stuff.
It did.
And we laughed. It didn't. And we laughed and we joked and we made fun of it. But we have to understand that the Creator gives us an ability that exceeds that of mortal man. Right. He says in the scriptures, ye are gods. And I don't like to use that word God, but I'm going to use it just for the masses of the people. He says, you are Elohim, but you shall die like men. Arise, O Elohim, for thou shalt inherit all nations. It is our job to be like gods on this earth. Our forefathers stood out and caused the sun to stand still for a whole 24 hours. You understand that? Is that mortal man? Our forefathers went out and caused the water to dry so we can walk across it. Our forefathers went out and called fire from the sky to consume a sacrifice and suck up all the water that was poured.
Oh, yeah.
Is that of a mortal man? Or is that the power of an Elohim? You got to know who you are, else you're playing. And if you expect anything less than that, then you're playing and the truth ain't in you. It's just that simple. You got to know that you're great. Don't let nobody tell you who you're not. Just because they tease you and make fun of you, you are special. You're worthy of worshiping this king. First of all, because of your bloodline. You understand? Then, because of all the sacrifices you make to alter your behavior to become a better woman, a better man, a better child, a better human being, a better servant to the Creator of all creation. We're not like them, but you have to understand that. We have to show respect and honor to those who it is due. Respect and honor to the men and the women of the Almighty. Respect them. By respecting them, you are therefore respecting the Almighty. Thank y'all for your attention today. I pray that this lesson was enriching. It was kind of long, I understand. And I pray that I didn't bore you too much. But I pray that you got something rich out of it so that when you leave this door, you can take some of it with you. I know I gave you a lot to ponder on, a lot to think about, and a lot to consider. Believe me, it'll pay off. It's worth it. May the Most High be praised.
Hallelujah.